seconds. All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all honor, glory, and praises due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakudash. Also, want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone, who teach truth and sincerity, and also who will peace and salutations to the hopeful elect out there that scattered abroad four corners of the earth, which is you so-called Negroes, Latino, Hispanics, Native American Indians, coming out the elect nation of Israel, the nation that the Lord is dealing with, okay? This brother Thought from Great Millstone, Detroit is back at you with another lesson. Now, this lesson was actually, land-backed and inspired by the beloved brother Amon Gabar, because we know, like, the main prophecies to look out for, JT being one. Of course, want to look out for that the MOTB when it gets fully implemented. But, there's other minute scriptures, not minute prophecies, even though they're still dire, that still need to be fulfilled. And the brother actually made a great point, honestly, and this is for so-called Eve, especially Eve from the nation of Israel. All right, it'll be great to use wisdom to actually get you a man in these days, especially a man of the Lord. All right, so one I'm going to start off with is Isaiah 4:1. All right, in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. All right, so 7 women is going to take hold of one man. All right, and it might be literally 7, because 7 is symbol of representation of completion. Shoot, it might be 3, it might be 7, it might be 1. Shit, it might be 100. All right, and it says, we'll eat our own bread, wearing our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. All right, so basically they're gonna be carrying their own weight in those days, man. Not to be bothered, and take their reproach, man. Because back then in the ancient times, if you was wasn't having a kid or wasn't bearing, you'd be considered with an old maid, man. But nevertheless, the point is, when it comes to this time, Eve really gonna be seeking that protection, right? Because it's gonna be bad out here. Eve, you shitted on the men of Israel for so long that now this is also a way for you to be like, damn, this is the men in this truth gonna be like, they probably might not gonna want to deal with you. That's probably gonna be the last of our worries. But it's gonna be so bad that you are not gonna mind sharing this one man. All right, because again, it's gonna get bad out here. When you look at when I brought up the time of Jacob's trouble, there's things that you gotta look out. Of course, it's gonna be the full implementation of the MOTB, and it's going to be WW3, things of that nature. Slakia. But I was saying, WW3, World War III, and there's going to be things in the city near you. All right, complete chaos. Right? There's going to be stores closing. There's going to be markets that's going to be boarded up. You're not going to have your police really guarding and how they say, to serve and protect. You're not going to have that in those days, right? And knowing that Eve, you shitted on Jake for so long. Hey, Jake is known to be sexually deprived, man. When you look at the world and how we conduct ourselves, in America, men is raised to love women unconditionally. But on the other foot, women, when it comes to loving a woman, it comes with conditions. You know, man loves unconditionally, but you know, to have a woman love you, it comes with conditions. You know, hey, 6'6", 6 figures, 6 inches, 6 feet tall. But regardless, you know, you shit on Jake. You did this. You talk mess. Even women out there that has a baby dad, whatever. You know what you want to do. You want to call the cops on them. You want to put your hands on them. You know, Amouan Gabar actually did he put out a lesson. You know, basically, if you see two men get into the fight and you grab by the loins, man, you got to get your hands chopped off, and that's in the law. That's in the law. But regardless, and what else does Eve like to do? They like to call 911, call their big brother, you know, set Jake up. And honestly, some of us, I know you might have a YN, but you know, not all Jake be on shit, but y'all be pushing Jake and doing things to where, you know, you fucking around and you about to find out. Yeah, you gonna fuck around and find out for sure. This is Isaiah chapter 19. Oops. Verse 15, it says, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. Alright? So basically it's talking about, there's not gonna be work out here in America. Like I said, there's gonna be some stores that's gonna be closed up. Not Kmart, but your Myers, your Kroger's, your Walmart. Listen, this merchant city ain't gonna be your place to get whatever you need. And also another reason why I bring this up is because, again, I mean, when you look at these police out here, they just don't do it just because they love to serve and protect. At the end of the day, they're doing this stuff for a check to survive and, you know, take care of their families too. But without the police, because like I said, I actually had that happen to me in time of my life, where I was arguing with, you know, said daughter's mother, and she tried to call the cops on me. And that's just another wicked situation in itself, not getting too deep into it. But it's gonna be a point where you ain't gonna be having to call. You ain't gonna have that opportunity or that option to call 911. And with that being said, we still got YNs out here. So let's grab this one. It's the book of Sirach, chapter 26. And verse 5, and it reads, there be 3 things that my heart feareth, and for the 4th I was sore afraid, the slander of a city, the gathering together of an unruly multitude, and a false accusation. All these are worse than death. But the point is talk about the gathering together of an unruly multitude. That's you 2/3, you YN Jakes out here. And actually, let's point the finger where it's due. That's why a woman can't raise a man. You know, I seen it. I actually saw another video where this mother was disappointed at her son because he didn't come out to be a sodomite. He wants to deal with women. That's disorder. A man ain't gonna do that. A father is gonna make sure, hey, get in your ass. He's gonna orchestrate things righteously. Okay? But again, the gathering of unruly multitude. Listen, I don't see no YN calling a woman beautiful. I'm really sure 9 times out of 10 he gonna call Eve bitch. Okay? So, with that being said, there's no police. There's nobody to protect you. Men are already sexually deprived. What do you think will happen? So I'm going to end it off on this one. And like I said, it'll be wise and it'll be use wisdom to get you, you know, take heed to a man. Don't think, like I said, that independent shit. that I can do it on my own, yeah, we'll see. This is 2nd Esdras 5 and verse 10. It reads, and shall, I'm sorry, this is 5 and verse 10. 2nd Esdras 5 and verse 10. And shall be sought of many, and yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied on the earth. So I looked up that word incontinency because this is going to be the kind of the new norm, and it's going to be multiplied in these times. So I looked up that word incontinency because a lot of people, or let me just read it. It's incontinence or incontinency. It says a lack of self-control or the inability to restrain one's desire of fleshly appetites. And you know, the Wadi Yahweh Shai from our elders and apostles, breaking these scriptures down in a way to conduct ourselves. Hey, that's why we gotta, you know, take the Sabbath, get your rest, you fast, you know, you're not gluttonous. Hey, well, like I said with the Sabbath, no sex. You gotta learn how to put the joystick down just for a day. But these people out here are not in the know. These people gotta eat. These people gotta get that box. And in these times, like I said, having not a lot of self-restraint, you're gonna really see the real grape out here. You're gonna see women really being graped out here, not in the scripture way, because there's gonna be a lot of these YNs. They don't give a fuck who you is. They don't give a fuck if you got a man or not. Okay. So, like I said, it'll be the day, because I seen it personally. I mean, I'm not saying I was in Jacob's trouble or anything, but I actually seen a man. He was a YN. Mind you, I'm from Detroit. He literally grabbed, and it was amongst 2 other men, grabbed this woman in front of us, and wow. But yo, so like I said, using wisdom, women, you should humble yourself, and hey, take heed, and hey, follow the order, man. But nevertheless, I hope this video was edifying, and again, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, and again, double honors to the elders and apostles, their great millstones, teachers, truth and sincerity, and also who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. I'm going to close out. Say shalom.